Hello everyone. Trigger warning just before we begin the episode. The following content contains some mental health topics/issues, example suicide, which some viewers might find disturbing. Participants in the video are not experts/professionals of any kind. Kindly do not take any advice coming from them seriously, especially Manas. This piece of content is meant for entertainment purpose only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh, we're fine. Hello everyone. Welcome to Aur Bata podcast.
Is this how it like normally happens? या फिर आज special
No. This is completely on you. There's a disturbance in the force. Like you kill plants, you're killing our podcast. I mean,
I don't have to kill something that's dead.
wow.
Okay, so guys, this
My bad, dying. Sorry.
Where's my knife?
so guys,
it's alive. Yeah, go ahead.
let me speak, please. So guys, this week we have a special guest, almost as Simar ka, Mr. Simarpreet Singh, and the same old ogre. Sorry, Lord Farquaad jo bhi tha wo from Shrek, and we have that. So yeah, you guys' face look really, bright,
Yeah,
hopeful, and happy.
thank you.
So, so last week we talked about पूछना तो होता नहीं कि हम कैसे मिले थे.
अबे तो okay, ठीक है, fine. Sorry.
I'm gonna keep every. You know what? I want to show audience the BTS.
I'll ask now. Okay.
I'm not cutting
now
anything.
You made it too obvious.
This is all.
No, but wait. So first of all, I think Simar is a very loyal listener, and he's one of the few people who's like heard our entire podcast and gives really honest feedback. So I'm really grateful for that. He's a true friend to Manas, and Manas takes his feedback very seriously. So yeah, and Simar, I hope you feel privileged enough to be on our podcast amongst us.
I'm extremely privileged. I never thought I'd be on Manas's podcast, to be honest. I never thought he'd have a podcast. Aur Bata, but yeah,
I mean, like he's taken nonsense to another level. Like, now it's like there for public consumption. And but I want to know, like, तुम दोनों की क्या कहानी है? Like, तुम दोनों की love story, and how did you guys meet? Like,
हाँ, मुझे भी जानना है. Like, I don't remember.
Yeah. So
romantic.
हाँ. तो एक दिन बारिश हो रही थी, मेरे पास छतरी नहीं थी, इसके पास थी. No. So
पहले प्यार हुआ, फिर इकरार हुआ.
No. So that we met. I guess leaders convention or something. He was photographer there.
Yeah, it's an NGO internship and all that.
Not an NGO, it's a sham. And we just
it is a sham. Yeah,
we just wanted extracurricular, we just wanted certificates, and we were desperate for that. And I was desperate.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the youth and the future of our nation. Yeah.
Bashing on NGOs. Yep.
And then
Sham.
he was leaving his internship. I took that in place, and then we became friends. Yeah.
Wait, that sounds so bad. Yeah,
You were fed up of internship, right? So he was like,
yeah. Yeah, I left that in like one day, and I was like, "Mere scraps le le." So I told the guy who was in charge, "He call this guy up. He's pretty desperate as well." Yeah.
Did you think, like, after all these years, like, after graduation, like after unemployment, you'll be on this podcast?
I did, right? Because
if it's unemployment, then you're totally in the right place.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, since we're talking about WhatsApp chats already, so I wanted to ask Nitya and like the viewers something. This guy deletes his chats every day or like every week. Mujhe nahi pata. Do you think that's normal or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Like you'd have a chat with him.
I did not even know that.
Yeah.
I did not even know that he deletes his chats every week.
Is it every day? Is it every week? I'm not sure.
No, I
every day.
I clean my phone every single day. Before going to.
Manas, what's your storage space? 10 GB.
No, I have like plenty of storage, but I like to.
Dude, ab Lumia nahi hai. You don't have that Windows phone anymore.
You could have just lied about your storage. You could just lied about your storage. But now you're being so honest about how much of storage you have, and that makes me worry even more.
I have plenty of storage. It's just that I like everything organized. If things are not contributing, if they're not productive, I don't find any sort of use.
Organized.
I'm glad we're already talking about OCDs. Yeah.
Luckily, everything's encrypted. So I don't know, you still feel the need to like delete everything
But
like
I
when you're
don't.
speaking into
But
your
I don't.
phone.
Tell me one thing. I don't see the reason of keeping any sort of chats, especially of you two. Okay, what's up? This that
See,
and
like,
sharing
I
memes.
mean, chats rakhne mein takes absolutely zero effort, but every day deleting stuff with
I
multiple people.
I just like having everything clear. So if I need to find something, it's very easy to just I just know that this is there. This is the star messages. This is
What
what.
do you mean
On
having everything clear? Are you like erasing our friendship every day after we have a conversation? Like, is
No, no,
that what
I
you're
no,
doing?
no. I have all sort of evidence of screenshots and everything on my private. Like it's
See,
all
I
sync.
think this would be a very great segue to our actual topic,
Yes.
because what we're describing
Yeah.
resonates with our topic tremendously.
Thank you. That's a nice segue. So
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah,
last
I think
week.
it's a great head start.
Yeah, so last week
Hmm.
we did episode on Pride Month because it was trending, and we thought we can gain some sort of views. That was not the intention. We were just kidding. It was important. And so another thing that was last month was men's mental men's mental health awareness month, and it was not trending enough. So we were like, we're not gonna get any sort of views. So we thought we were gonna do this in July. So here we are. And
And
I thought,
Manas is the perfect spokesperson to talk about men's mental health.
yeah,
Definitely couldn't agree more.
and
Yeah,
that's why
because it's totally normal to like take screenshots of conversations and then delete chats. Like, who am I
Yeah,
kidding?
absolutely.
one second.
Yeah.
If the chats are spicy, they're like good, you can blackmail the other person, make them look psychotic,
Ha ha.
or you can prove them,
Yeah, that's why you keep screenshots with your
you
really
can
dear
just
and
keep
near
you can
close
just keep
friends.
chats, right? You don't need to take screenshots. If like a normal person, you just kept chats instead of deleting them every day.
Simar, don't corner the patient over here. It's okay. It's fine.
My bad. This is bullying, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
so I thought what could be better than inviting, another two mentally unstable people, and that's why we are doing this episode. And since,
Yeah.
like half the podcast, not half, we have Simon also, so like, you know one third जो भी होता है 66 something, yeah, 66 something, one third of the two
गणित भूल गए हम इधर.
See, that's I'm doing a podcast, not actual MBA or something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so two third of this podcast is men, and one third is this ogre, sorry, Lord Farquaad, jo bhi hai. And so we thought, what? Let's just not keep it all on men's mental health, because I don't even consider myself man. Like technically I am, but like we'll get to that. So guys, let's start with Simon because we're
Maybe
going
we should have talked
clockwise.
about that in the Pride episode. But anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Hmm.
Next episode में ये नहीं आने वाली. And so, Simon, what sort of
Babe.
words come to your mind when I say man?
Hmm. Buff, hairy. That's just me, maybe. Okay, just strong emotionally and physically. But yeah, that's about it.
Nitya.
Oppressive, dominant, testosterone, uh, like patriarchy, breadwinner. Like these are the words that suppression, tyranny. Um, yeah,
This is getting too frank. Oppression, suppression, tyranny.
Okay.
Can't say I don't feel hurt, but
it just comes. It's I'm literally I'm just playing with it and like this is how rapid fire is. These are exactly the words that appear in my mind.
Okay. So the words
So
that okay, enough of you two. So the
it
words
has
that
nothing to
come.
do with the men in my life. Like just to be clear, like
hmm.
yeah,
अब तो लेट हो गया थोड़ा. So
I was not convincing.
the words that come to my mind, because nobody's going to ask me, are macho, aggressive,
That's it.
I-
Yeah.
yeah, so macho, aggressive, rough,
ऐसे बोल रहा था that you've got something very enlightening to share because nobody asked me.
but I forgot, like,
Macho aggressive.
Macho aggressive.
oh my god, we cannot. I don't think this episode is gonna make it. So the thing is,
It will.
and for some reason, because like these words, the reason I said, I do not associate, because all the things that you just said, to describe men, and what Simar said and what you said and what I said, I cannot relate to that. So sometimes it feels very weird to call myself a man for that, because I am I'm the manliest of manliest. I am, another word is emotionally stunted people. Like men are like sort of. I'm not even joking. Like, be honest.
Oh yeah, babe. You don't have to joke. They're
But
they're emotionally numb.
so the reason I don't
Yeah.
associate
Yaar,
some.
I feel hurt now.
It's
Like
no,
a
no. I don't want to
He's not a man.
generalize.
He's not a man then. ये भी मर्द नहीं है.
No, no. I think See, Manas for me. I think you're a man who's very in touch with his feminine side, and I mean it in a good way. So, and you're
Very
still
in
man
touch.
enough. You're still man enough. So you don't need to prove your manliness or your masculinity to
One
anybody.
second. When did I say I'm proving?
I'm just saying, like, you should never have the
When the
need to
question,
prove it
one second.
also.
Nobody was
Because
questioning it.
Yeah, but I just wanted to make you feel empowered about yourself. Just
Okay,
saying.
so the reason I said those terms and I do not associate myself जो पहले हुआ था and then you made it into a joke कि pride episode में बोलना चाहिए था was for some reason I see man who's like like from the very beginning people would be like कि who's sporty, who's in sports, who's aggressive, takes a stand, mysterious, girls like those people like mysterious चुप रहने वाले क्या होता है aggressive पता नहीं मैं
Nitya
Not me.
agrees.
are they
Yeah,
are,
Nitya
are they
definitely
are they,
agrees.
are
She's
they
nodding. Hmm.
are they constipated or are they they're really serious, and they're like they're really mountain climbers, hard set rough hands, सब कुछ करके, and whereas I have hyperhidrosis. I can't even.
Actually, I think for a change, 66% of the people in this group have hyperhidrosis.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
66.
yeah.
Simmer, see,
Point six, yeah.
I have hyperhidrosis. Simmer has hyperhidrosis.
Really? Do you only
Pretty
befriend
much,
sweaty
yeah.
people?
Wait, are you sweaty?
Or no, I'm not.
Jokes on you.
I just realized that backfired. नहीं
So
मैं तो special हूँ ठीक है
yes.
Manas, I don't sweat. Okay. No, I'm
Yeah, so we
obviously people
just
sweat. It's normal. Like what? It's not extraterrestrial or something.
And
But yeah, I don't like drip. Like I'm not like that Barsori Megha Megha kind of situation. Like,
yeah,
it's
and
not
I
that.
I'm not aggressive at all. I'm like quite like happy go lucky person, and I, and what what is it? Complete नहीं करने देगी point. ठीक है, and then
Happy go
happy go
lucky.
lucky.
not
हाँ.
lucky, just
अभी 10
happy.
मिनट पहले
Not lucky.
यार Simar, I'm like so upset with you. You didn't download Telegram.
Almost so fat, you rolled down his fat cheek. Anyway,
तेरी
that,
शक्ल होता
that's
है तेरी शक्ल देखने लायक थी
This is the
यार
most. I'm going to mute both of these people because they're not going to let me say anything. So and then
अच्छा अच्छा बोल 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 बोल
and then like
क्या बोल
usually men need some sort of substance in their body, like they need smoke or they need alcohol or something to open up. Otherwise they're like it's so awkward to say something, and I don't feel that anyway. So I feel always
Hmm.
this sort of weird disconnect with that. And quite honestly, Simmer is one of the only guy friends that I have, like proper guy friends, like close friends, because we are not we don't
Proper guy friends.
like
yeah,
I'll tell you why.
that's
Like proper guy as in क्या होता है, एक होता है friend, like who's in your contact or you're following on social media, but you're not actually talking to them daily basis.
Hmm.
Once or twice they will react to your story and that's it. But Simar and I actually talk. We made effort to be in touch, so that's the thing. And after Megha and Kritika, you two are the only people like I'm friends with. I call like close friends. Otherwise, I don't consider any other people friends. I don't even need more friends, quite honestly, at this point of my life. So and we don't like talk like usual stuff like oh, look at this chick, she's like that, or we don't trash talk. We're not always talking about hookah, smoke, or this and that, or like weird things like or like sports. So
Not weird, or maybe you can just say like the things that people usually talk about. So it's not that. I mean, you guys
how many
have
times do
other
you
things also to discuss.
exactly, so like we do that, so that's why I feel like that sort of disconnect. And usually when people, not people, like when men suppress all those things, like that's what I've noticed.
Hmm.
When men suppress all those emotions, when they feel, oh, they cannot cry, they cannot express how they're feeling, being vulnerable, it's
Yeah.
then when the other emotions come out. the anger, aggressive issue, or when they try to suppress that as well, then they, so there are like usually they go aggression or depression, and sometimes people get best of both worlds and then they get bipolar and other mental issues. So so that's that. So that's why I see, sort of a disconnect, and I just, I don't get like why people do that. Yeah.
I think one of the reasons that instantly comes into my mind is upbringing. As a son, how are you brought up at home? Like one is about, okay, how do you perceive a woman in your life, and that's all about, I think, your primary relationship with your mother. And secondly, it's about how you are taught to process your emotions. Are you allowed to cry? Are you looked down upon if you're too emotional and you're labeled? So I think that is one of the main reasons why men kind of tend to convert or tend to channel the emotions like we all feel betrayal, pain, but they tend to channel it as aggression and anger instead of crying and sobbing, because they feel they're not allowed to express the emotions in that way.
I
So
think this
that
is
could be a big
definitely
reason.
like maybe it's a cultural thing as well. Not, I won't say
Yeah.
universal, but like I remember watching a video as well, right? So this was a YouTube video where it was, I think, US या कहीं था. So it was an experiment where it's a shop, and the two actors, one's a guy, one's a girl, and they're supposed to break down in the middle of the shop and then see how the other customers react. So the girl breaks.
Oh.
John, can you know?
क्या
The show name
क्या
is
क्या?
what? The show name is What Would You Do?
Oh, what would
And
you do? Yeah, that's
I've
yeah.
seen all the
Oh.
episodes.
So yeah,
So they
so do
just
you
wanted to
remember
see
this
how
one?
people react to like the guy and the girl
Yeah.
breaking down together.
Yeah, so no, they were separate, right? So they just wanted to see कि लोगों का क्या
Oh.
reaction था, compare the genders and like equation क्या है.
Mm-hmm.
So the girl cries, and a couple other women come there, they talk to her, try to console her. What you would expect anyone would do, right? Any sane, rational person would do. At best, you would leave them
Ignore them.
alone, and yeah, of course, you would do that, or you would try to console them. But that's fine when the woman does that. But when the male
Yeah.
actor does that, like a woman actually reports him to the security, and because she felt threatened that a guy is crying. That's that's quite
I'm
messed
not
up.
supposed to be laughing, but
Yeah,
this
that's
that is just really shocking.
right.
The thing is,
So
you know
just
what? I was the issue is that guy was crying for a really stupid reason, and so
see, that's the thing, right? You never know what the reason
His
might be. It
emotions
might be
are
the
also
straw that broke the
valid.
camel's back.
dude,
Right? You never know what other stuff they might be going through,
when the
right?
customers around him asked
Yeah.
him, "Ki, what's the matter?" He gave a really stupid
Hmm.
blunder, and he was in a boutique, so he was like, "Ki, kapde hai, so kuch," like he was like crying about that, and he's just broke down, and people are finding it funny. Ki, oh my god, is this the reason he's crying? Because like girl
But
crying in
see,
a
the
boutique.
woman
Oh,
did that
Manas,
too. She
that's
did
my
that too.
point. That's what I say, Manas. Like, is it because they laughed it off and he cried because he was a man, not because, like it. The matter was trivial when it came to the woman as well, but because a
Hmm.
man expressed his emotions and he cried, they didn't take him seriously because of his gender versus the magnitude of the situation, which was not really a big thing. So I guess
Now
that's
imagine if this is in a place like US, तो in India में तो it's a super patriarchal and like
yeah.
मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता and like all that BS type. यहाँ पे तो I'm pretty sure it's amplified.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. So we'll come to that. How it happens, like how mard, like that we call ourselves, like how do we deal with that?
Mm.
So Nitya, what happens like when you feel low, when you are in that point of your life, when you feel ki, it's
Yeah.
the end of the world. I don't really matter if I pop off,
Like now.
if I just pop off,
Hmm.
like it really doesn't matter. I'm not like I'm just a waste or burden on this world.
First of all, thanks
There's no tunnel,
for
light in
amplifying my
Go
emotions.
on.
it's just the end of it.
Pop off like a zit. Yeah. So, so when I feel low, I definitely don't call you. And besides that, I spray some really good essential aroma oils in my room, and my room becomes like an agarbatti. And I absolutely love lavender, by the way. So like when I'm feeling low, completely down in the dumps, and we all feel aimless in life, or we feel defeated, and we're like, yeah, अरे हमारा कोई नहीं है kind of a situation. So doing that, and then of course listening to music. I have my Spotify playlist. I've called it Soulful, and Sufjan Stevens gets is literally on the top of that playlist. So I listen to his music. It's very meditative. And or I watch a feel good movie. Usually it's movies on travel because it feels like an escape, especially in this period. Or I spend time with my plants because, as you know, I have a little plant business, so I have lots of plants at home. So oxygen helps.
Sorry to
Or
interject.
I order
Sorry to
Hanji.
interject. I just want to ask, like, what sort of mental trauma, like what sort of like thing that you actually, go through? Like, what is it? Like, if you were to name it, if you feel comfortable, of course, mentioning it.
Absolutely. There's nothing to hide, I think, and it's totally. I think uh, there's no shame in expressing what you go through. I think we've all had our anxiety attacks. We've all had our panic attacks, and I think that it's about, see, there's nobody in this world who hasn't faced anxiety in life. I think the only difference is how you channel it, and do you are you in a conducive environment where you're allowed to feel your emotions fully. So luckily, I'm in a place where my emotions are given a lot of importance. My family respects that, and we are a very emotionally, we are a very emotional family in general. So we're very expressive about everything we feel, a little too much actually. So that's a big blessing. And yeah, and thing about anxiety is that sometimes it can, like many times it can come because of certain irrational fears you have, and of course a pandemic has had a huge role to play in that. So the things as common as a fear of loss, the fear of grief, the fear of uh, being broken or being left. So I remember, I think it's also called pistanthrophobia. I actually went through it. Pistanthrophobia is actually a phobia where you're afraid of making new relationships because you've always been in abusive ones, or you've been in dysfunctional ones, or relationships that haven't worked out. So it was just very interesting. I was reading up a lot about it. So yeah, so everybody, I think everyone's gone through their lows. And then of course, so movie, and then talking, and of course what really helps me the most is journaling. Journaling is like where I find my solace. I spill it all out because it's one of the healthiest ways of channeling what you're going through, because people are not dumping grounds, and you have to take accountability for your actions and your
Day one,
emotions. So
day one, मुझे
yeah,
आज किसी ने
day
प्यार
one.
नहीं किया. Day two,
Day one,
आज भी किसी
मुझसे
ने
कोई
प्यार
प्यार
नहीं
नहीं
किया.
करता. Day two, आज भी मुझसे कोई प्यार नहीं करता. Yeah, so that's exactly how it goes. I actually write that sometimes, and that too with like colorful stationery and all, na, with like highlights and all. So yeah, that's really amazing. Journaling has helped me a lot because you'll never be out of diaries and pens, even if you're out of people to talk to. So yeah, I know that's pretty depressing, but
Simar, would you like to
that is.
share your inabilities and shortcomings after which your mom
Yeah,
will marry you?
let's see who feels worse about their lives after that.
Society might shun you after this. Would you like to share, or would you like me to go first?
Yeah, sure, man. I think you should go first.
Okay,
थोड़ा
so
depressing होगा ना उसके बाद I think I'll just try to lighten the mood up.
Oh,
okay,
wow,
so
yeah, that'd be good.
she said, people don't have anxiety and all, everyone goes through that in the world. Girl, talk about yourself, because this person is fit, not physically, but sort of mentally. But yeah, I don't get like anxiety or a chota mota cheese. I get just- I don't get them now. So,
I think we need 2 minutes silence
but
for
so
this really amazing statement you've just made.
so
कि हमें anxiety नहीं होता, हम straight away कत्ल करते हैं.
so
Like that is
Miss,
Yeah, you skipped
sorted.
Miss,
everything. Yep.
Miss, can I please talk?
हाँ
So
बोल.
like not now, like I don't get them now, or maybe I do. I don't like let anyone know. So so thing is, I that's the best part. Your people are like, yeah, kal to has raha tha, aaj kya hua?
Yeah, this is definitely not a cry for help. Just saying, yeah, just go ahead.
Oh my god.
We've
So
got you. You know we're there for you, right? You know this is a safe space. आज बोल दे.
ये
दिल
कह
की
रहे हैं
बात
कि we are
बोल दे
there for you.
मानस.
मैं बताता हूँ, there for you. These two people wake up around 10 or 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. I wake up at 6
Hey,
o'clock.
hello.
Hello,
One
Let's
second.
I
yeah,
wake up at
12.
मैं आज तक 12 बजे नहीं उठी.
Whoa!
हाँ.
तुम्हें
I
कितने बजे
wake up
उठा?
at I wake up at 9:30, 10. Okay.
हाँ, तो लाइक आई मेरा यूजुअली शुरुआत होती है थोड़ा रोने धोने से, एनी सो लाइक सो
Hmm.
व्हाट हैपेंस इज समटाइम्स आई
Please share with us about your Maslow's hierarchy of hate. You were talking about that. हाँ बोलो what? So how does it start?
तो बोल ले,
नहीं
तू
नहीं
बोल
बोल
ले।
बोल. I want to know this.
So I so like I'm just kidding, Khaled, but these people are great, okay? Very nice people.
They just
So
don't wake up at 4 a.m. to help him. Yeah.
जब
Yeah.
तक it's a very funny thing, like
They just call him up at 12 a.m. to wish him
Yeah.
happy birthday and he's asleep.
I haven't done that. I'm sorry. I just
no
can't.
real talk, but like sometimes it actually happens when you're like really low and you want to talk to somebody and you
Hmm.
like or not talk, like you just like text them entire pura
Oh
paragraph.
no, 6 baj rahe hain. I can't text them. Okay, yeah, happens.
So you text them कि क्या बोलते हैं, when they'll read it, when they'll, ठीक है, then जब भी read करेंगे, ठीक है, करेंगे. So
Hmm.
and then after you have a cycle. So first I get really numb, then sad, then I get really angry कि पहले से तो कोई प्यार नहीं करता, ठीक है, then it's like कि मुझे कोई प्यार नहीं करता, फिर इसलिए मुझे प्यार कैसे नहीं करता कोई, ठीक है, उनमें है क्या जो मुझे प्यार नहीं करता, फिर उसके बाद मेरे को प्यार नहीं करता, उसको जल जाना चाहिए, इसको मैं जलाऊंगा.
Hierarchy of hate.
And then I'm like, I'm planning कि how can I make it look like they just set them on, अपने आप ही आग लग गई उनको. So like I think about that.
Make it look like an accident. Yeah.
Then I'm like, sodium is hard to procure, I can't look it up on Google straight away, now the police is involved, so I'm like, what do I do? And then I'm like, I'm too lazy and take a nap, and then it's over by then. And then I wake up and they're still sleeping, and so I just delete the message, and they're like, oh, why did you delete the message? So by then I'm like all cool and fine. But yeah, like,
And and do you think that's a healthy way of channeling your hate? Just want to know what you feel about it.
yeah, I'll come to that. So but the thing is, I used to get all those thoughts, like I would feel really low, I would not feel, there isn't any need for me to live or whatever. But thing is, I see, thing is, Kalda, the reason I started the podcast, like I got to know about podcasts was I started listening to them, a lot of them, and then I got into YouTube. I started reading about people in a similar situation that I was in, and I started treating it just right away. And just knowing that there are people out there who are facing the same issues as you are, it's sort of you, and they have they have they're survived through that phase, and they are happy, and then thriving and all that, that sorts of give you a relief and a ray of hope that you can do it as well. And I never executed. I'll be very honest, I had those thoughts, like it used to be every day, multiple times I would like plan and everything, sorry. It sounds really bad, but it used to happen. But then I would, but then I started. The thing is, when you tell other people, sharing is amazing. Like I always share it, everything. And then these sort of resources, like getting help from all those people, strangers who have been through the same thing, that sort of pushed me to the brightest, into the better side. And also, like, I had this thing, that my parents' voice in my head, my mom's voice in my head, who would always be the best reason, the voice of reasoning. And then I would be like, there are so many dumb people, stupid people who cannot do basic stuff, and I can do those basic stuff without actually knowing how to do that stuff. So why can't I try that? And then there's this voice that says ki, there are people who are just ready with their moongfali to bonify on your almost dimming fire called life, and they're just ready, just to do that. And then I just hate people getting the satisfaction of getting entertainment out of my life. And I'm like, that's not happening today. So that sort of hate and vengeance, ki I'm going to give you metaphorically in thappad. So that sort of fuels me, and that sort of brought me to the this side.
So hate is what gives you a reason to stay alive.
Hate,
I
love.
think after this podcast, I'll share the number of my therapist with you. But वो अच्छी है. She's nice. She'll help you out. Don't worry.
The thing is what I've realized is that I would tell other people. I'm not like the sort of person ki, there are people who are brood inside, who are like ki, who take pride in this thing that we don't tell other people. We are such strong individuals. We solve our problems. We अंदर ही अंदर घुटते रहते हैं, चाहे 10 साल तक हमें ऐसे सिकुड़ जाए, अजीब सी शक्ल पे दिखने लग जाए, क्या होता है, their problems. But I when you see movies or shows, you see that a lot of people, they unload their issues or whatever problems they have on their friends or family or whatever they share, जो भी इंसान है उनके side में, and then they tell it and they take care of everything, or they at least respond accordingly. But when it actually happens in real life, people don't actually respond how you expect them to, and it's sort of you're like, एक तो अपनी प्रॉब्लम डिफरेंट, एंड देन यू लाइक ये क्या गोबर फ्रेंड्स पाल रखे हैं दे डोंट
पाल
इवन नो
रखे हैं.
they don't even
Talk
know how
about
to
yourself.
so, and then you're like, what's happening, like, you just unloaded, you just were vulnerable a minute ago, and then you are crying in the bus to home, and they are chilling in the party in Canada. I'm not I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding.
Wow, now we're specifying the country also.
I'm just kidding. I, Mega's listening
You're
to she's
losing
like,
some friends tonight, sweetie. You're losing some friends tonight.
I'm just joking. Seriously, she was there. So, but then like, people don't know exactly how to react
West
to.
Delhi बोल सकता था तू.
I don't think वहां
That's
तक
not
जाता है.
fashionable.
नहीं, I don't think वहां तक जाता है मेरा podcast.
हाँ, वहाँ नहीं जाता podcast.
So so like, you tell other people, then you realize, what, it's not their fault, because they have not been through the same situation that you have been
And you
through.
wouldn't wish that upon them as well. It's totally experiential, and I think you can't expect them to understand you beyond a point.
Yeah.
Like
So
that is.
so yeah, so so then you understand, it's not their fault, and not every you cannot hold everyone responsible for your sort of pain and how they are dealing with it. It's your pain, you're supposed to do that. And after listening to all the podcasts, YouTube videos, and reading, not reading, मैं कुछ ज़्यादा read किया नहीं. अगर read किया तो I would not be doing podcast right now. So
Or just keeping up with the Kardashians. Yeah.
yeah, so like, when I see Kim struggling, then I realize ki then I realize ki you have you are you should know yourself the best, right? You know what are your weak points, what a part of me, my family knows a part of me, a different set of group of people know a part of me, okay? But nobody knows entire me completely, okay? So, and
Are
all
you trying to tell people that you've got a split personality? I mean, is that what you're trying to say?
that's been established in
That
last episode.
everybody only knows.
That's been established, like, like in last episodes, we are not going to go into that. So you realize, so I sort of looked up tools. So therapy was not something I was comfortable with. Yeah, paise bhi nahi the. That is not the issue. So also, when I would tell some people, ki, oh, I am feeling, these sort of things, just, piche batti chalegi, people would also disappear like that in my life. Or, so if you would tell them, ki, oh, I feel this way, or I used to feel this way, they would, sometimes would use it as a thing to hurt you back. Like in arguments or things जो बहुत सारे हो चुकी है. But the thing is, they don't realize कि I do not hurt.
That's pretty horrible.
I know that's horrible, exactly.
Sounds
But
like you should drop those people from your life.
exactly. But thing is, people do
That's
that.
toxic.
Yeah, it's a, but thing is, I know, like, who to tell what. Like, in like वैसे तो, like, I'm open book, anyone can ask me about anything and I'll tell them. I'm not like मैं अंदर ही अंदर घुटूंगा, नहीं मैं ही क्या होती, I will not tell you this and that.
लेकिन तभी मैं chats delete करूंगा. Yeah.
Get that.
Oh my god, you're not going to get into that. So basically, it's not कि मैं selectively लोगों को चीज़ बताता हूँ, but then I know once I'm over something, nothing can hurt me. You cannot say oh, you were season कैसा है. I'm like, I made out of it, so I don't even see a point. So I laugh back at them कि dum dums.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that you said earlier, like, like losing your will to live, like, what's the point of my life? That reminds me to every person who's ever had suicidal thoughts in their life, that that your reason to live should not be measured by how many people think your existence matters, or how many people are impacted by your existence. Your life is precious enough and a reason valid enough to wake up every day. and that reason is valid enough to, value your life more than anything. So that's a big
Thank you for your
reason.
TED talk and cutting me off. ये तो
ठीक
पहले
Did
है.
कहना
you
थी.
talk to people about your suicide?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Multiple people. I don't really
And
mind. Like if I'm talking, like I would tell, yeah, guys, I'm not feeling well. Where is the nearest
do
knife?
you think it helped at all?
Oh God. So all those times you told me you're not well, it was something else.
Yeah.
I'll be
Relax.
more attentive next time.
नहीं नहीं अब तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. Now I'm like कि किसका किसी को कैसे मारूं. No, I'm just kidding.
ये तो पहले भी होता था. I know from
I
personal experience.
think I really think you need to process your emotions the right way
So
and maybe just talk. Like
okay,
this is a safe space.
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, safe पे Zoom पे record और YouTube पे जाएगा. Totally safe. कुछ नहीं.
Ha,
वैसे भी आज
absolutely.
वैसे it's quite safe. Nobody's gonna watch it
It's
anyway.
our
So
space.
I'm literally thinking of
Yeah.
upload
True.
because of new Google policy. People are not actually viewing anything. So I'm like कि कोई देख ना तो इस पे अपनी सारी private चीजें डाल दो.
Because of Google policy,
Absolutely.
people aren't viewing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are digressing. So the main thing was that I learned that I know myself best and I know how to react to certain
But
situations.
but I'm
In
not sure that's true, right? You don't necessarily know yourself the best.
sir, sir, please let me speak. No,
बोलिए.
I know
Sure.
myself. नहीं, I know myself. Like I know myself in sense. For instance, initially I when I would have those cycles. जैसे होता है ना कि you feel numb, then you feel sad, anger, and ये चीज़ I know my cycle. I know sometimes कि
Hmm.
how long will it last? 2 days, 3 days. Something happens, something triggers. I know like what will happen. So
Like I'm PMSing every
I
month.
know, yeah, that's what
ऐसा
I
भी
was going to
होता है.
say. कि मुझे पता है मेरी cycle कितना last करेगी, 2 days, 3 days. I was
हाँ.
very
Yeah.
PMSy. Yeah.
no, not
Yeah.
that sort of cycle. Cycle as in क्या होता है this cycle कि then I'll become I'll give up जो भी है ठीक है. So I know
Hmm.
this phase like how long will that last. So initially I would react badly to other people. I would not treat them well, and then sometimes होता नहीं क्या होता है कि you're keeping it inside. You don't know how to treat how to
Hmm.
process your emotions well.
Unresolved emotions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you can take it out on people who don't even deserve it or don't even know what's going on in your life. So then I realized कि,
True.
okay, I need to work on myself. So I seeked help, not seeked help. I मैं खुद अपने आप पे work किया. I looked up I like I said, hard podcasts, people going through similar things, not music videos, sorry, YouTube videos. I would see Jay-Z doing this, sorry. I would just watch YouTube videos of people going through similar things, and that would sort of pull me out, and I would see what steps they took. And then I discovered that walking does the best for me. So I walk. So I listen to a lot of TED talks where they would say physical activity. And since I am it's quite strong, so I walk a lot. That's why biceps. So I started walking, and I talking to myself. That sort of became a therapeutic thing for me. And you know and I started processing myself, understanding myself, like this is when I feel low, this is how I'm supposed to treat it. So now my main thing is ki I just do anything to avoid those sort of thoughts. Now the situation right now is that I'll do anything, I'll look for like temporary escape, be it Instagram, be this podcast or food account which is not giving me anything. uh,
That's not great.
Why are
so
you even whispering it? Just say it out loud.
That,
एकदम से वॉल्यूम क्यों लो हो गया आपका?
that's extremely unhealthy.
so now that's
Avoidance
the thing.
essay. Just
That's
yeah.
the thing, right? So now I'm sort of the person who gets into some sort of accident, has really bad pain issue, and then they're prescribed, not described, sorry, prescribed medicines like drugs, like and then the problem, the body heals, but they get hooked to the drugs. And I'm like hooked to my escapes, temporary escapes, and I don't have those issues anymore. Or maybe I do, I never know. So
This just gets worse every second.
and and so like I'm sort of like dealing with that. So like how to just like so like when I would actually get those thoughts, I would just think about my parents upbringing, their thoughts, my mom's voice of reasoning, and I would think of all those people who are doing better in life, because even though they don't deserve it, I'm like I will kill them all and show them who's the better one. So like hate and vengeance and love is sort of what brought me to the bright side, and that's how I'm dealing with it. So what's with
How
you
did
guys?
hate and love exist at the same side of the spectrum for you?
that this is the whole episode, I guess. This is the whole podcast, love and hate.
This episode.
So Simar, please tell us about your shortcomings that will probably, make you an outcast in your family, and there will not be a marriage in the future.
Basically,
Okay.
Simar, what is your journey with mental health? What have you experienced so far? And since I think you have a therapist, so, and none of us have ever approached a therapist, even
And that's
though,
pretty
She,
new.
she lives with the moms, so that's the thing. She lives
Yeah.
with the moms, so
yeah, I live
Hmm.
with my
she has
mom,
me.
so
Yeah. So Simar,
that's debatable. Anyway,
Simar, stage is yours. Please use it well.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, I've obviously had issues through the beginning, which is what I think, right? So I've always been pretty anxious, extremely introverted. Uh, I think school tak bhi I was pretty introverted, and then college mein I started opening up. Job mein it helped me a bit. Yeah, but I definitely felt like I had a good head on my shoulders. So matlab, I felt that I would solve any of my problems. I'll be able to deal with everything well. Just like Manas says, right? He knows himself. That's what I thought, right? I know myself the best. I can take care of everything. That was pretty chill up until a few months ago, which was when I realized, I mean, just something happened. And then I realized that no, mujhse nahi ho sakta. It's a little difficult. And that's when I decided that I'd get help. And yeah, so I contacted a therapist because COVID, of course, you can't really have face-to-face sessions. So yeah, I've had like 5 or 6 sessions with my therapist, and it's extremely helpful, right? So see, the thing with therapy is it's not people who go for therapy aren't helpless, right? So because therapy doesn't help you out in a way ki matlab your therapist will never say, you need to do this, you need to do that. They'll never make plans for you, they'll never make decisions for you. Therapy can only help you if you want to help yourself. So people who
so
feel that,
are you saying that
yeah,
therapists don't give any advice?
well, they don't, like, let's talk about decisions exactly, right?
Okay.
If it's a particular decision that you're torn about, that's something they'll never tell you ki, do this or do that. They can't do that, and they'll never do that. They'll just help you make the decision yourself. They'll help you reach a point where you can be a little clearer about things
So they'll help you
that you,
understand
yeah,
yourself better in that sense.
definitely. Right. So, which is why I think a lot of people think, if I'm getting therapy, like I'm a lost cause, like I'm pretty helpless. And that's not the case at all.
Oh,
If you're
that's such
if you're
a
going for therapy, yeah,
big
that's
taboo
such
in
a
our country.
misconception.
Yeah.
Definitely. People are यहाँ पे तो मतलब it's pretty much, if someone goes to a therapist or psychiatrist, like pagal hai and shit, that's pretty messed up. And that's what I've seen so far. But yeah, I mean, if you're actually seeking help, right? If you want to get better, I think there's no
Yeah.
better example of strength other than that. So yeah, I mean, if जैसे मानस की cycles थी, right? So like his cycle of hatred या जो भी है, his phases. So whenever I'm encountered with something that I'm not feeling great about, depressed या low या जो भी है, so I too have a little. I mean, it's not a cycle, but I have a few options. One is that when I'm not really in a great place, I think Nitya mentioned that she listens to good songs, right? So I listen to songs that make me even sadder. So it's like pouring gasoline on a fire, but I do that regardless.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like even
Dude,
I cry in the shower. I cry in the shower and it's so therapeutic. Like I
Why?
literally try to invoke tears. It makes me feel really good.
Why
I
do you
cry
do
on the
that though?
inside. I cry on the
It
inside. So
feels really good. It just feels
Okay.
like I'm like releasing it all into
Yeah,
the water.
that's true. Like once you're
Yeah.
over with that crappy crying session, right? After that, you do feel
Yeah,
a
it's
little
like
better.
light.
even I do
Yeah.
this. So like
This
sometimes
weight
if
Yeah.
lifted off your shoulders.
sometimes
Hmm.
so sad wala, so it's very purposefully. Like even I have
Hmm.
a full sad bomb list.
Playlist.
Playlist. Yeah. But aside from that,
Spotify.
I see, the
Do
thing is,
share it with me.
क्यों करूं हट
Yeah.
अच्छा.
तू भी सुनो मैं भी सुनो हट यार, ऐसे कुछ नहीं होता ऐसे शेयर नहीं होती चीजें सो आई यूजुअली वॉच रियली सैड मूवीज बहुत रोने
Hmm.
बच्चा मर गया यू नो मम्मी चली गई जैसे ऐसा होता है ना कि जिसमें बिछड़ रहा है सब कुछ लाइक तबाह हो गया सब कुछ
Hmm.
that sort of thing that makes you feel better
Yeah.
I have all the luxury in my life this will be you
Yeah. So yeah, so sinking into those thoughts and feelings when I'm at my lowest is probably like the worst thing I can do, but I still do that sometimes when things are really tough. The other thing, when I'm in a little better place, I've recently tried to meditate pretty frequently. So I do that
That's
every
really
morning.
good.
It's been a few months, not a few months, I think almost 2 months since I've done that. And it really helps me, right? Because most of my problems stem from thoughts and being stuck to them. And meditating just makes you so aware of the present and makes you so mindful that after a
Yes.
while I feel that even after just like a 10-minute session, the thoughts I had at the beginning, they're like all gone and I'm feeling way, way better. So that's one thing I'm a huge proponent of. And if any listeners want to try that, I think they definitely should. Meditation has definitely helped me. And let's say the other thing I do is obviously I share. This I think with the Manas as well. What Manas said, that people might not understand you. That's true, but for me, it has been a very cathartic experience, right? So sharing itself, I think there's a podcast I listen to called the Happiness Lab, and they have a whole episode on this about sharing, and it's there's a lot of scientific evidence behind that. That if you share, right, so your grief goes down a lot. So they did that with uh, I think Jews that were there during the Nazi regime, and with them they track their medical their health along the way after they confessed, after they shared their emotions with everyone. And what they saw was there was a considerable increase in their happiness and physical and mental well-being. So you shouldn't expect people to understand really, but even just the act of opening up helps you tremendously. And I think even though Manas comes across like an ass on the podcast, but this guy has been there with me for the past 2-3 months. Just it's just so great. So him and another friend. I think I would be a wreck if it weren't for these two guys. And yeah, so even though he comes across as an ass, he's a really stellar guy. So that's pretty much the whole process. So I either listen to sad shit, I meditate, or
No,
I talk to
actually,
these guys. Yeah.
no, I see. Thing is, sharing wala thing is fine. I share, okay? But thing is, I
Hmm.
now I sort of manage my expectations. I share
Hmm.
because sharing, after sharing, it's sort of like मैं vent करता हूँ, like ranting. I don't hold back. So that sort of
Hmm.
thing. So when I do that, it feels good when it comes out, because certain what happens in certain times, you things are very trivial, but it's looks so big. Things sound like in your head, and when you like all like take it all out when you talk to other person, then you realize कि, oh itni badi baat nahi thi, I was just thinking about it too much. So I get that. I do share, but yeah, so but I just manage my expectation. I don't expect other people to be like, oh my god, I will come to rescue you. The thing with therapy is that I love therapy and I love listening to other people, but I am very that sort of person ki yes or no, one or two ye karna hai,
You don't feel ready yet, I guess,
no,
Hmm.
to go
not
to
about that.
therapy, which is
uh,
fine. That's your call.
Eh. Thing is, like, I'm sort of person कहता हूँ who is always solution oriented. So I'm always looking for solution कि मैं अब ये नहीं कर सकता, मैं अब क्या कर सकता हूँ. And I'm same with the other people also. तो when I'm
Hmm.
like कि अगर मैं थेरेपी में जाऊँगा, अगर कोई बोलेगा ना क्या करना चाहिए, मैं कहूँगा तेरे को पैसे क्यों दिए 500 रुपए. What are you charging for? To listen, I can listen. The wall on my room can listen to me. You tell me the
कितनी
solutions.
कितनी चिंदी thought है तुम्हारी. Anyway, besides that, I think this whole thing you said about comparing your situation with another person, and there'll always be somebody who's in a worse off situation than you, and that makes you, I think, more importantly, give gratitude about your situation and how you are. But at the same time, like many times people say कि अरे उसके शर्मा जी के बेटे को देखा, he lost both his parents and you've only lost one. So I mean, that's not the comparison I'm trying to talk about, that his grief is bigger than mine or my grief is
Hmm.
invalid. So that your grief is never invalid, and I think it's about processing your emotions the right way, and never comparison is fine when you try to give yourself relief and you feel better. Or I think
Oh
psychologically we
no.
feel better
See
when
it.
somebody is in a worse off situation than us.
See, it feels
लगता है
good.
हमको.
हाँ, देख, see,
It does feel good to know that
at the,
somebody is suffering more than
Hmm.
you.
see
Let's face it.
at the time of the moment you feel कि चलो मैं अफ्रीका में बच्चों की तरह नहीं हूँ, which is very mean thing. जैसे something
हाँ.
I've seen it कल तो जो खाने का था, तेरे को
Yeah,
पता है
yeah,
अफ्रीका
yeah.
में बच्चे ऐसे, which is a very mean thing to say. And that I understand, like थोड़ा inhumane होता है, but a lot of people do
And then
that.
you give
थोड़ा थोड़ा
gratitude
शांति
about your
थोड़ा
situation.
होता है कि चलो
हाँ.
मैं एटलीस्ट उसकी पोजीशन में तो नहीं हूँ, that person is suffering, I'm not suffering that much.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say people are toxic or whatever. Like it happens, but not. So that's the thing, right? People try to quantify how many limits, chances they get. They can try every single day. So like my personal struggle is that if I don't get to go for morning walk, of course मैं evening पे चला जाता हूँ, but that sort of, that sort of, there's this the mental block that holds him back कि, oh shit, I woke up after sunrise, and that irritates me a lot. And that sort of sets a mood for the entire day. And but now I'm trying to work on it. And so don't try to say कि oh मैं 10 दिन से try कर रहा हूँ, I've given up, ये मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है. keep
I guess
keep
that's true. I mean, also, when it comes to when you face something, healing is gradual, and secondly, it is everybody's space for recovery is different. So I think one is I constantly tell myself very often that don't compare your healing or the time you're taking to process
That's a
something
very
with
individual thing.
somebody
Yeah.
else's. It's a very individual thing. And secondly, you're not here to please anybody. You don't have to pretend to be happy or pretend to be okay just to make your family feel that you're normal. Never, I think, come under that pressure. If you're not feeling fine, admit it. And also, the thing is that few days you'll feel that okay, you're not recovering, nothing's happening, but there'll always be light at the end of the tunnel. I think that is something you have to keep reminding yourself. So yeah, so think pleasing also na ki oh my god nahi, everything's okay, everything's fine, just to make sure tell people ki ha nahi mujhe kuch nahi hai. But no, that's very unhealthy for you in the long run.
yeah.
See, what you said about trying was na ki matlab you can't stop. But the thing with this is like people who are at like very low points in their life, they're sometimes just way too exhausted to continue. And I think it's not like for them, if you tell them, try kar, do that, you can do it. It's like they're so exhausted, they can't move, and then you're telling them to move.
I
I
mean,
just
So I
want
think,
honestly, if you're,
yeah,
yeah, honestly, if
I'll
you're
tell them one
healing,
thing.
like, the process of healing is as productive as working or painting. I mean, it's as productive. So don't feel that, oh, like I'm not doing anything constructive with my life because I'm working on my mental health. That is
So
as
yeah,
important.
yeah, so I'll tell you one thing. So we started with the men's mental health wala cheese. So
Yeah.
when I saw that, from the very beginning, I would see, like people in school say tha kya hota hai, girls would always be attracted to guys who are like mysterious, rough and tough, good in sports, don't showcase emotions, don't even say I like you. They will play the game, chasing,
The the chase, yeah.
so, and that would of course not lead anywhere. 10th khatam hua, and then after that, they're like different classes, school, whatever. So what I realized is then I tried to be that, and then it happened like for a minute. I felt
you
constipated.
tried to be that.
I
I can't
tried to.
imagine.
No,
I
for one
can't
minute,
imagine.
literally for one. I'll tell you what. I try to be like a mysterious, emotional, sort of person. For a 1 minute, I
Can you
felt
imagine? Can you
one second.
imagine this guy?
Can't.
I'm
I
sorry,
just
it's too
can't.
funny.
I can't
So,
visualize.
and
It's too hilarious.
I got.
Like I can imagine you being that girl who's totally hurt. That oh my god, he's not even approaching me.
So I felt constipated, and then
Can you do that look? Can you try to act mysterious in
you
that
shut
for
up.
like 1 second right now?
So and I felt constipated after like 1 minute, and I'm like, this is not for me, and I completely shit, just like this analogy or analogy. Shit, analogy, get it? Oh yeah, people, please share our podcast with your family.
Now you definitely should.
But the thing is that what I'm trying to say is
Yeah.
sometimes we try to fit into people's standard key. Oh, if you want to be a man, be these things. If you want to be healthy, be key. Oh, I don't have issues. Nahi bolne ki zarurat hai. Don't fall for people, like what people's standards are, what people are doing. Just
Yeah.
keep yourself healthy, keep yourself in check, talk to yourself. Not दूसरा बंदा solution नहीं दे सकता until you talk to yourself. And don't try to limit all the numbers of chances and tries that you get in life. Keep trying. There's multiple things that you can do.
And seek therapy when you need to because none of
एक
us
second,
are
we are
sorted in
not giving
life.
advice. Sorry, we are not giving advice. We're just saying this.
Yes.
This is what
Yes.
I do.
Specifying that.
Yeah, we are not experts of any sort, any kind.
You can
And
see that we
Yeah,
are no
especially
sorted in
Manas
life.
isn't. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
So
him.
so
absolutely.
just
See,
focus,
yeah.
just focus on yourself, work on yourself. Don't एक तो पता है क्या, don't even work on yourself, just think about this. There are people way dumb than you. इतने गोबर लोग हैं ना, and then they are thriving, and they don't even deserve to, they're just wastage of oxygen basically. They are thriving and you are not. Why are you not? At least give it your effort just to
Manas,
put them down. Just shut up.
you're not
Just to put them down, just to watch the world burn, their world burn when you succeed. So just
Manas,
think about that. I'm just saying that.
Manas, sweetie, you're not. This is not. This is really bad advice.
This is not bad advice. Whatever it takes for you to live and
I
survive,
think we
do
should
that.
record this and like send it to a therapist or something. Matlab, like
Guys,
involuntary therapy.
just shut up. Okay, guys, do whatever you want. You have to do to survive.
No,
To
no, no, don't, because Manas will be sent to rehab and we don't want that.
just do anything that you want to do. Just be
Straight
happy.
jacket. I think. Matlab, that's what I was thinking. Like sponge wala room hota hai na,
Guys,
where you can't harm
be
yourself.
be happy. Not be happy. क्या कहना है? So like my
Yeah,
will.
Happy.
Just shut up. बोलने नहीं दे रहे. You guys are on the top of the list. किसको पहले खत्म करना है? I'm just joking. I'm just joking, guys.
You having to specify, you're just joking for a moment.
Yeah, just go ahead.
So guys, please, my thing is that I give myself enough chances. That's why during the 12th episode, when we should have stopped at the 6th episode of the first season. Give yourself chance. You never know when Kim Kardashian or Kris Jenner would, discover you and you would get a big break on Netflix. A boy can hope. Yeah, that's it. I talk to myself. I walk. That's what my best thing is. I share. And yeah, I know myself. No therapist will. What about you, Nitya?
So my approach is slightly different. It's more holistic. I think you know yourself, but sometimes people are like mirrors.
Realistic.
People are like mirrors, and they reflect what you're going through. Sometimes you're not ready to admit or confront yourself, so they kind of project what you are going through, or they project your behavior based on how you talk to them or how you react to them. So I think it's very important to also consider what people think about you at that moment. You don't have to take it inside, but people really help you understand yourself better. So I think feedback makes a big difference. I'm not like मैं ही हूँ सब कुछ and I don't need
Are you
anyone.
giving advice?
No. I'm just saying. I'm just talking about what works for me. Huh? This is what works for me, and also being comfortable. Like I'm comfortable with admitting that I'm vulnerable. So there's no harm in sharing that you're not okay, because I think the difference I've shared with Manas earlier, the difference between those who say they're mentally sound and those who aren't, the mentally sound ones don't admit it. So there's nobody's ever completely sorted in life, which is I think a universal fact. And also you're not here to please anybody, like I mentioned earlier. And yeah, I think even recovery is your pace of recovery, you have to respect it. It does not
Your
matter if it
pace of
takes months.
recovery. This all sounds like advice.
No, it's just experience. I'm sharing, like I'm just saying, for example, I might take a couple of months to recover from something that someone took 10 days to. So I don't have to feel bad about that, oh, maybe I'm so messed up that it's taking me longer.
And
So
there's
I'm
no
just saying,
timeline basically.
yeah, there's no timeline. So I think these are my parting thoughts, and over
What
to
are
you,
your
Simar.
parting thoughts, Simar? I think you
Yeah.
should.
So, bol.
Background, Simar, background.
Background change karo. Yeah. So क्या? एक second रुक जा.
So kya?
रुक जा यार.
Brain fart. Recorded. Okay.
Anywho. Someone's favorite word. Yeah. Look into meditation. That has helped me a lot.
Are you suggesting?
कर रहा हूँ भाई, मैं कर रहा हूँ. This is helpful. Okay. I think everyone should definitely look into it.
Suggestion,
And-
not an advice.
Yeah, and stick to it for a while, right? Because starting mein you feel like a monkey because your thoughts keep assaulting you, and it's very hard. But after a month or so, things will get a little better, and it does help a lot. Helps you focus towards the present and takes your mind away from the thoughts a bit. And I think sharing helps a lot. It's pretty cathartic for me. So as I said before, I think seeking help when you think you can't handle things by yourself, that's a sign of strength, not weakness. Also know that healing isn't a linear process. You'll have your ups and downs, but don't consider that a setback. because in the long run, the line definitely moves upwards. And yeah, that's about it.
So I guess, guys, this is the end of our episode. Where can people find Simar? They cannot find anywhere because he has no social media presence whatsoever. You can find him on LinkedIn, but I'd have to log in into LinkedIn and then copy
Or
paste.
you can just pin his address on
I
our
can do that.
Yeah,
YouTube description box below.
Yeah, I can do that.
please do, please do.
If you want to find
Gifts are
Nitya,
welcome. मेरी Amazon की wish list भी डाल दियो. I'll just yeah.
so and if you want to find Nitya, please just try to see what's happening in your life. If you want to find her in your shit, like so, but I'll still put her things in the description box or in the show
Yeah,
box
just put my things in the description box, which I'll be writing soon.
anyway. So, guys, we'll see you next time. That's all. Keep living because you want views, and then you can do whatever you want to do with your life. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Super say bye.
Bye.